We are starting soon.
Hello and welcome back to the Album Book Club. This week we are reviewing This Won't Last Forever by Joan. You guys said this was like a synth pop kind of album. What do we label this as?
I wrote it as pop, but
Yeah, pop is
this
fine.
mic is hot.
Hold on, I need to adjust my microphone. I haven't done this in a second, sorry. I am back from the land of the dead.
Hold on. It's like we haven't done it either. Camera's wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into our top three of the album. My top three songs were Alibi, Lucid Dreaming, and Space.
Mine were Bothered, mine are Bothered, Body Language, and Heart, Body, Mind, Soul.
You.
Mine are Magic, Heart, Body, Mind, Soul, and Lucid Dreaming.
Mine are Alibi, Space, and Tsunami.
All right, now let's get into our bottom songs. My bottom song was Heart, Body, Mind, Soul.
Mine was Lucid Dreaming.
Logan, you go ahead and write anything down.
Mine was Heart, Body, Mind, Soul.
This mic is crazy hot right now. Mine was Supernatural. I lied. It was Face. I didn't read that one.
Oopsies. All right, well, that brings us into the individual rankings. The first track is This Won't Last Forever, and I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Turning the page. Ooh, I also gave this one a 7. Nice rating.
Good rating.
I gave this one a 7.
I gave it a 6.5.
Logan's the only hater. No, I really liked the cinematic feel of this song. It almost felt like a track that was supposed to be at the end of the album. Like, this is the song that plays during end credits. Like, that's how the start of the song kind of had me feeling. The vocals are pretty good, but the mix makes it get lost at certain points. I think the chorus is pretty fun melodically, but it gets just a tad repetitive.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to talk about it a lot. This whole album is very over-affected. The delay specifically on this track is very overcooked, but I do appreciate that's part of their commitment to the bit, the whole 80s synth vibe. What did I call it? A vapor vibe?
Vapor pop.
Yeah. Yeah, my only real problems with the track is a little slow, but it was a vibe.
Yeah, it's catchy. The bass is there. I didn't have a note if it was good or bad, but I could hear it, and that's better than some of the albums we get. I'm not calling anybody out specifically. I just realized
kinda sounds like you
it
are.
really sounded like I was. But for me, this one was kind of just a pretty standard pop song. It was it reminded me of how we started the Joe review, where it's one of the first ones was yeah, this is the pop song that you probably released before the album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Started with a nice crescendo in the 80s synths. It's pretty cool. Very modern pop style on the actual vocal cadence. Other than that, really could have just shaved a flat out minute of this song off, and I think it would have done so much better. It's like a 4-minute song. Doesn't need to be. It's a lot of the just one kind of concept.
I think that's why it got a little bit repetitive to me because it's so long. I think I'm in like agreement with you there. Chop like 45 seconds off and it's cool.
I don't think this one had any of the build. We get some build later, so I forgive it, but this one's a little long. I agree with that.
All right, well, that brings us into track number 2, Body Language. I gave this one a 7.5.
Carson and I share a brain tonight because I also gave this one a 7.5.
I give this one a 6.5.
I give this a 6.75.
Yeah, I really like a lot of the different rhythms that we get inside of here. I found a lot of them interesting, and it kept things a little bit fresh. The background had more energy, and it kind of uplifted the track a little bit for me. And the only other note I kind of had is that this one felt a little bit short, but it may have been due to the long track length on that very first track.
Yeah, this one's also just up energy, so that tends to make the song go by faster. But they brought the energy up. They also slammed the crap out of everything with a ton of compression, which is not stylistically a thing I tend to like, but it fits this track okay. The only thing I will say is because of that, the vocals were buried a little bit. But overall, this is a jam. It's a great party song.
Yeah, so this song does my least favorite way of incorporating pop culture references, which is just tossing them in because they rhyme with the thing you wrote before. It's mostly in the beginning, and after that it's fine, but the whole intro to the song is just, hey, here's a thing that you would recognize as a line, and I did not care for it. But after that, it's a lot more a lot more was happening with the drums in this one than the previous song, and I was liking that. Also, the glitch effects on the vocals were fine, but if it wasn't this genre, the amount they had on there would not fit. But since it is, it's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Vocal cadence was garbage. Keep it a buck.
At least you're honest.
Yeah. The pre-chorus was like severely overly auto-tuned to the point where you could hear the robot splitting away from the human being that was there. That was pretty gnarly. Other than that, whatever genre like Dead Pony is whatever this song was trying to be, and they didn't quite get it.
I don't agree with that at all.
The song Cobra and this was trying to be that, I think, yeah.
I don't think that's right at all.
I feel like Dead Pony's a little bit heavier than this.
I think Dead Pony just had glitch effects in Cobra. And
Glitch
that's
with the
all it
like
was.
rap and the style change. This
There's
pretty
no-
much hit the beat.
There's no rap in Cobra.
There's like a chant the drummer does, yeah.
That's not a rap though. That's a chant. You said a different
Okay.
word for it immediately.
Cool. All right, whatever, man. Either way, this failed at being a song in whatever genre it was trying to go for. It couldn't grasp what it was trying to be. My point there.
This album pick on Logan Club tonight. This is brutal.
All right, well, let's get into the next track. Magic. I gave this one a 6.5 out of 10.
You're not going to believe what I gave this one. It's
Ain't
a
no way.
It's a 6.5.
All right. I gave it a 7.5, but I have beef with it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I-
gave it a 6.5 because I have beef with it. So,
Yeah, I gave it a 6.
I will say I did kind of like the guitar in this one. It feels, I don't really know how else to describe it than a little bit more down to earth. Like it feels more natural in this song just a little bit. But I absolutely loathe the echo effect going on, and then a lot of other effects feel like they're way overdone.
So do you like Nirvana?
50-50.
Okay, because that's what guitar tone they were trying to cop. Pretty much exactly.
Yeah.
The acoustic.
No, the very beginning.
Oh.
The like terrible chorus phaser with envelope filter thing at the beginning, which was brutal. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that was it.
No, okay. Yeah, the brutal guitar thing at the beginning, wasn't my thing, but we could hear the vocals here. It felt heartfelt. There's good build in the middle. I just wish there was a little more energy. Some of that comes from there just being no drums in most of the song, which is something I'm never gonna like. But at least they put a kick in, I guess.
So the reason it got the score that it did is because when it actually builds up and goes somewhere, I like where it went. But twice in this song, they build up and then just pull everything back for an acoustic break that doesn't go anywhere. And that drove me crazy every time I heard it. But when it does what I like, the bass is super loud, which, positive or negative, it's there. I thought I had more written down here, but most of my notes were mad that they did the build up and then strip everything back twice. But when it actually hit, I was liking this song a lot.
Third track, third genre, cool. The singer actually sucks at enunciating words. You need a pop filter in the studio, for one. Two, hard consonants have to be enunciated in a certain way so that you can not go the whole time in my ears. And when you add effects on there,
It's like a spider crawling around your brain.
it was. When you add effects on there, those get picked up with it. So it just wildly pissed me off. But mostly the roller coaster. The fact that we're the third track in, it hasn't set itself up for pacing. It really doesn't get better for a second. It's just a wild thing to do in a modern album, I suppose, especially when we live in like the playlist age and everything should be pretty uniform to start off with three that are completely separate.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. All right. Well, I believe that brings us into our next track. Face, I gave it a 6 out of 10.
You're really not going to believe it this time. I also gave this one a 6 out of 10.
Is that 4 in a row?
That's 4 in a row. This might be the weirdest thing that's ever happened on this couch.
We typically disagree. This is weird.
Yeah.
I gave this one a 5.5.
Give it a 6.
I came back,
Can
Carl.
get this out of the way. The one note that I do have written down here is this is the okayest song that we've had on this show in a very long time.
Okay, but hear me out. It is the Lion King 2 soundtrack, almost exactly. It is very unmemorable. I did like the synth tones, though. The drum sounds were just very meh, which I'm always mad about.
Yeah, I liked the intro kind of, and then how soft it feels. I feel like it's kind of out of place how early on in the album it is. I mean, track 5 or 4? Track 4, and we're already getting like a super low energy, like soft song is a little weird. And the build up itself in the track, I thought they were doing something cool, and then it was just super underwhelming and it didn't hit for me. That's all I really got for that one.
Thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we both did this.
Yeah.
Big ol' nothing burger over
Yep.
on that couch.
Yep.
You got them out of the way early.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that brings us into our next track, Lucid Dreaming. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I give this one a 6 out of 10.
Finally.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7.
6.5.
Listen, I like this one. It's simple, but it's good. I think the stripped back part sounds great. I really wish they used less effects, but I still liked it when it happened. And I actually found the chorus in this one to be pretty fun.
Yeah, the big thing, you already mentioned it. I started getting really bad fatigue from just the over-affectedness of everything between the auto-tune and the delay and the fake sounds and the fake this and fake that and whatever mastering they used. I mean, the whole thing just feels very synthetic and rubbery, and at this point, I just got tired of it. I think that's why this ended up where it was. This is a track that I didn't even know happened. I realized I started this, and then about 3 tracks later, I realized that I was not on this track anymore.
That happens to me later.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like the rest of the album, but it did feel faster. If I didn't have so little notes on all the songs, this would have been a thumbs up.
Yeah, can't blame me there. I think I actually I benefited because between this song and the last track, I had to take a shit, so I stopped my review, and I came back with a little bit of fresher ears.
I don't know how this didn't register for anybody else, but when the vocal mix had a complete 180 from the last 3 songs, it kind of brought me back to paying attention 100%. This one's catchy. I like the sound that it's going for, but I think the mix is a little bit busy on the back end. You good? I am not a fan of the acoustic part at the beginning, but when they do it the second time, and it's about half of the time it spends here, I like it much better then. Because it's only like 2 beats of acoustic, and then it's like the fake out where they go right back into it. But I did not care for it the first time. But I kind of like this song.
Yeah, there's too much bass, flat out. The only comment. It swamps everything. It swallows everything. I understand that's kind of like the style that everyone goes for these days. But when it's actually over consuming the track, it's just a little much. Other than that, you guys hit literally everything else. I can't say it's a good song again. So
I listened in the Sonys and the bass peaked them, so that should tell you a lot. I mean, those headphones have 0 bass. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I believe that brings us into our next track here, Supernatural. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
All right. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, we're back to agreeing.
Yeah, this is weird.
I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 6.
Listen, that beat ain't bad, but that weird skipping effect, that like weird like glitch skip you got going on in the background, just take it out of there. Once the song actually fills out, it doesn't sound that bad, but when it was isolated in the beginning and I could very clearly hear it, I did not like it. And then once we get into the actual lyrical content of the song, well, I wouldn't say lyrical content, but the way his vocal cadence works here, this is where I have the Logan note of the vocal cadence sucks ass, especially when they strip everything back, and there's just not enough propping it up to make it sound good. Like,
I also have that note on this track.
yeah,
This track had weird.
Like the weird extended bars where they strip everything back all the way through the bar.
Everything was enunciated like Christopher Walken. It was pretty bad.
My last note on this track is just Dees.
Yeah, so I looked it up when we were complaining a minute ago. They are from the U.S., so there's no reason to, it's not a language barrier thing. It's not some sort of weird. I mean, Arkansas has kind of a weird regional accent, but it's not like awful. You can get over it. Because I had the strange vocal cadence here. I appreciated that once it built up for the chorus, there was at least energy there. So that's what gave this one the half a point over the last track. But this is one of the tracks that I literally could not tell had even happened because it's so similar to the last one.
Yeah. That last note hits. It's kind of just another standard pop song. I liked the little reverb section that happens in the middle, but I like full songs like that, so it's not super surprising that I did. I did think the drums were a little quieter on this one, so I could actually kind of hear what else was going on, which was a plus, and I liked some of the synth stuff, but I didn't really have too much written down.
Yeah, vocal cadence, you guys have hit that one already, like a bunch. Other than that, there's some cymbal hitting at the end that isn't off time, but for a pop song, it doesn't particularly make sense. And then they put either a crap ton of delay or a crap ton of reverb on it, and it just sends whatever these cymbals are into the stratosphere. It's just not the right move, other than for the fact that the song is called Supernatural. If you want like ethereal sounding cymbals, I suppose.
It doesn't work. That's part of the reason a lot of guys they'll record cymbals and drums separately, so you can actually put effects on the drums, because cymbals they just cut, they just destroy everything. They're always the problem live. They're always the problem everywhere. That's why thin cymbals are awesome. But you literally just can't. Other than sometimes you can put delay on hi-hats, but that's just Stuart Copeland. He can get away with it.
All right, is that it, guys?
Yep.
Okay, next track, Tudo Pasa. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yep, me too.
I gave it 4.
I gave it 7.
Okay, hold on. My gripe with it is it sounds really neat up until we get to the robot. I hate the robot.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically just an interlude. The transition actually was super clean, and I didn't. This is where I got lost. I thought this track and the next track were the same track. because it like perfectly flows into one into the next, and at that point you get like a bonus point.
Yeah, this interlude kind of weirded me out, but I did stand up and clap when they said the title of the movie. I mean, album. So you know, that's what earned it the whatever points back.
Mine's super easy. It's a 5 because it's an interlude, but it lost a point because I didn't like the robot at the very end. That's all it was. It also probably should have been an intro, but
Yeah, same thing, 5, and then perfect transition, +1. I liked all the stacking voices up until the robots. Then I can deal with 15 seconds, I guess.
Is that the consensus, that we like the stacking voices but we hate the robot?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was like, it wasn't even a cherry on top. It was like the stem of the cherry that you just flick off, you know?
No, I don't know, Logan.
Yeah, you are allergic to all fruit.
All right, let's get into the next track. Eyes. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
You're really not going to believe this, but I also gave it a
This dude is
6.5
just
out of 10.
copying. This dude is just copying my answers.
This is absolutely insane. If I didn't have this inked in, I would think that Carson and I were just like sharing a mind
if
hive
I
over
didn't,
here.
if I didn't have it written down.
Yeah, this is really weird.
I almost joined you, but 6.75.
4.
Nerds.
All right, hey, Logan, go first. You haven't got to go first.
I think they put his mic inside of a bucket
Mm-hmm.
and then recorded it, and that was instant no-go. And then whatever they decided to do with the instruments, whether it was not actually play them and only use electronic instruments, or actually play them and throw a filter over all of them that makes them sound like electronic garbage instruments, that is what caused it to be a 4. Because there's some sort of like, I'm pretty sure they're actually playing most of everything, but it's just a lot of it feels like replacements. So like they played electric guitar here and replaced it with a MIDI acoustic or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of weird choices going on here, and the choice to have a very stripped back track that's supposed to like show off your vocal performance, and then having a piss load of effects and filters over top of that vocal performance is crazy. It just irks me some kind of way, and I didn't like it. I just wish this one was a little bit more interesting.
I'm sorry, I was looking up to see if they actually had any credits for anyone playing on the album, because for me, the way it could just be the way they mix, but they almost mix it like it's EDM or something. The way they use filters and stuff is just really strange at times, and it gets more and more maddening as the album goes on, because they'll create really cool instrument tones, and then like all of the high cut will disappear for this really weird and thin vocal to be set in the mix. In like a quarter of the space, they cut off the good sounding instrument underneath it. And it's just weird. It feels like a mix cop-out if you can't just carve out the space you need and you're just basically blasting away a whole mountain to sit a building. Like, it's really strange. This track, it's a ballad, but it's in the right spot. I guess I was ready for the slowdown. I kind of liked the build-up into the weird synth / reedy synth sax thing it was. I don't know, there's so many effects on, I can't even tell what's real and what's fake at this point. But,
Oh, the sax, I'm pretty sure is fake. There's just
It's
some
absolutely fake.
was that, or it's like I said, a guitar where they just midied it into a sax? Because there's someone is doing something on an instrument to get that and has proficiency there. I think I would just prefer whatever that instrument is instead, whether it be piano or guitar. Or if you're really good at typing on a keyboard, give me keyboard clacks. Like clack, 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 clack.
I think we're all also just the wrong people for this. We all prefer more analog, more real sounds, too. I think that's some of it. Just, I know me, at least.
For pop music, I would say, yeah. I think in a market where everything I know is so paid for and processed, I like when the real things show up.
Mm. Yeah, so Logan was talking about the bucket vocals earlier. I have a note about that being... It's not all of it. I think I can't tell if it's they put the effect on some of it or if it's a second vocalist that did it. But I did not like the bucket vocals. I did, however, like the synth horn, and there was another instrument that I could not identify. Obviously, it was a keyboard sound, but I liked some of the keyboard sounds. I didn't have much.
Sorry, I just made a sound. They say they're alt pop.
Ah,
That sounds about right.
I mean, technically, yeah. It's another genre that's like it's just broad.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
Alternative rock.
the target's 100 meters across, you know? Well,
Sorry, I still can't find if anyone else played on this album. I can just find that there's 2 guys in the band.
I say it is funny that Carl brought up the arrangements sounding like an EDM mix with where we're about to get to with our next track.
next track is Heart, Body, Mind, Soul. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
I give this one a 7.
I give this one a 7.
We
Give this a 3.
I loathe that chorus. That chorus is so bad, and I am the spoken word guy. I like spoken word stuff. I don't like how it's done here. I wish it was better. That's really it. That's my entire gripe with it, and it's the chorus, and that's a pretty big part of the song. So
See, I didn't even notice that. This one to me felt like an EDM track, which normally I would hate, but I think I was so ready for something new on this album that when they gave it to me, I liked it. It's not as EDM as the things that I would hate, but yeah, I don't have anything about the like chorus or anything. I think I assumed this was an EDM track.
he
and
literally just says Heart, Body, Mind, Soul.
yeah,
Right in your
yeah,
ear like that.
yeah. That's just. I think I just accepted this was an EDM track and ran with it. I did not hate it, surprisingly.
Neat. They recorded this in their home studio. Sorry, I'm just still reading about the band, but no. Anytime you give me like a drum and bass style beat, especially in the middle of this, I'm gonna be really happy. I just did not like the way the vocals lay over top of it at all. The juxtaposition between the really upbeat track and just the really like smooth vocals over top, just weird. It's just weird. Chill pop vocals don't belong in a drum and bass song. They don't. Whatever this actually was supposed to be, I don't get it. But I enjoyed that the energy went up, and that's how I got a 7.
Yeah, this is a club song or a club style song. We saw the exact same style of song back on Kylie Minogue's that 10 out of 10 song. They're the exact same, and I hated it then and I hate it now. I think when you do that like break section, you're like heart, body, mind, soul. I don't need that. Why? I get it's the title, and I get that it's this style of track. It didn't make sense to be on this album. And I just hate that kind of music in general, but that's a personal gripe. As far as the 3, it just doesn't fit here at all.
You know, it's funny. I just went back and I made sure, but 10 out of 10, I gave it a 4 out of 10. So I am right there with you. It is a very similar track, and I hated it pretty much just as much.
I don't know if it's in this. Nope, I've switched notebooks. First one I have in this one's Aquabats.
It's like the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the last one in the old notebook. This one's about halfway gone. You can see my little.
It's the notebook of much meaner things than Carl said.
Yeah, I write horrible notes and then filter them a lot. I'm generally pretty kind to people on here. At least I think so. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it was just the weird juxtaposition. It's not that I hated the track. I just don't know. Like, I expected them to be, like, I don't know, more aggressive. Maybe they just don't do that. Maybe that's not in the style. I don't know.
I will say, I do think this song was ultimately underproduced for an EDM or club track.
Might be why I liked it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it rode your sweet spot. It's just it was missing that extra layer of like.
It did what?
Nasty. You know that club grime, the sweat and shame. It was missing that.
The ecstasy. That's what you're
yeah,
looking for.
that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Road
Anybody have
Connor,
some?
but it's missing the sweat. That's crazy. All right, next track, Bothered. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I give this one an 8.
I gave this one a 6.
I gave this one a 6.
I can go. This one was my top song. I did like the acoustic part, but then they immediately cut the top of it off when the vocals came in, and that made me mildly angry. But I appreciated another switch up, And then I really like the female vocals here, which is now really confusing that I'm saying it out loud because I can't find any evidence that there's any more than 2 people in this band and neither of them's a female. So,
Well,
I think that's why I asked you about that earlier.
yeah.
In all fairness, I really genuinely thought there was some female vocals on this too, like a sister.
I don't know. I have no idea, but whoever's doing the background vocals, good job. They help.
yeah, this is kind of where a lot of the fatigue hit me, like all at once. I'm like, ugh, another track that sounds exactly the same. The chorus in this one really isn't too bad. The backup vocals really help. And I really like some of the softer parts of the song for the same reason. I think just hearing that kind of helps with variety.
So I have very little notes written here except for one big one. One of the background instruments sounds like the videos where they vocode actual words into Minecraft villager sounds. Yeah, but then you like hear actual words through it. It sounded like that in one of the instruments, and the rest of my notes are just, and the song is okay. Locked in on that.
Minecraft villager rant.
I locked in on that a lot on this song.
Yeah. Either the drum kick or the drum kick, the drum snare and hi-hat, kick, snare, and hi-hat are all the exact same tone, or the kick has none of the punch and the hi-hat has none of the cut. So there's just this weird amalgamation of a pattern going on that you can't quite decipher where any of it is. You can tell this wasn't played live, is all I gotta say. There was a click track and then drums were added, because it's like a tick, 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 tick. And you're like, okay, where's one?
Like another spider crawling around your brain.
No,
Is this one more like a centipede?
this is like if you put somebody behind a drum kit that was all tuned to the same note somehow. But like at the same layer that so like a snare was as loud as a snare was at this tone, and a kick drum was as loud as a kick drum at this tone, and a hi-hat at the same tone. That's what it felt like here. So you could tell where it was kind of trying to supposed to be, but it wasn't quite right.
We can try that if you want. I got a 14-inch kick, and we can tune down a 14-inch snare, and I can play some like 18 or 20-inch hi-hats that all be about the same pitch.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah. I don't know that any of the drums on this album are real, and now I'm even more convinced that they recorded this all at home in their home studio.
They for sure used the drum pad. I just saw on their Instagram they had one, and they were doing a cover of one of their songs for a video.
Yeah,
off this album.
that makes me hate it even more. I'm just kidding.
How are you going to do a cover of one of your own songs?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can condone the use of synthetic drums, but I don't like it. So, you know.
Synthetic drums feels like Blade Runner.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean,
Filthy synths.
right. I mean, yeah, you know, they're robo drums. Like, you know, there's real people out there.
Clickers
That,
taking away the real drum's job.
drum machines don't have soul, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Man, I got a sticker with that on it.
I mean, I don't have a soul either, but you know, drum machines definitely
different
don't.
reason.
Yeah.
Yours got taken from you when you were a child. You can't help that.
Yeah, you were born with that one.
Yeah. All right.
So was the drum machine.
Well, drum machine wasn't born. It was created.
So was Carl. He was created to be a pure agent of chaos.
Built, not bought.
All right. Let's get on to the next track, Tsunami. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
You're not gonna believe this. I also gave this one a 7 out of 10.
Man, Carl, we need to stop agreeing.
This is weird.
I give this one a 6.
I gave this one a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
Oh, now I feel bad.
You want to bump it up?
Yeah, I'll bump it up. It's fine.
Peer pressure. Let's go.
Yeah.
So this one had the weirdest thing I experienced on this album as far as mix goes. From track 10 to track 11, it was like a blanket got lifted off the mix. There was this gargantuan brightness shift between the two tracks, and it was just odd.
Like a rubber band is crazy. It's like one of the first lyrics in this song. Like a rubber band. I don't know why. It made me start listening into the lyrical content of this song, and most of it, and I do mean most of it, it's just straight cornball. Like, it's so corny. It was so like, it was to the point where I was like laughing at it while I was listening.
They're very catchy. You figured it out after the first chorus, and that is what a pop song needs to be.
That's why I got a 7, because as much as I don't like the lyrics and I think they're corny, they do hit, you know. It's not bad, but it's not super great either.
Did you not catch the? I wrote down what I thought was the most Carson note I've ever written down. There are woos in the background, and I hate them.
I miss the woos.
Charles anti-woo girl.
The woo in the back was just like it was like they'd be singing your name like woo in the back. I was like, what is that doing there?
They hit the woo.
That is a really mean note.
Yeah. I don't know. I do still like what I wrote as female vocals, the background vocals. There's a weird point where the compression overloads when the drums come in on this one, and I mean like actually overloads, like clipped the Sonys, which I have never experienced before, even when I've tried to. So that was interesting. And then it had this really strange ending too. This track was just a weird track, kind of a weird anomaly.
It was a tsunami hitting your ears.
Oh. See what you did there. I had very little written for this. They had the Amen break at the beginning, and this is another complete 180 of the vocal mix. The rest of the song is pretty good, but I don't know why we keep doing this with the vocal mix. I don't think it's the last time it's going to happen either.
No, it changes again next track.
Yeah. There's only 2 left, and we're still doing it.
You got to.
Apparently.
First time break drums have sounded good in a pop song, I think. Other than that, the song actually had a good, like, just movement to it. It moved quite well for how strange and out there it was. At the end of the day, it was, I think, exactly what they were going for in this song, which is just a catchy kind of kish pop song. So
Kitsch is probably the right word.
Yeah.
That's a good word.
All right. Well, are we ready to get into our next track?
Next track.
Alibi. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I give this one a 6.5.
Gave it a 7.
8.
Okay. This one got an 8 almost purely off vibe. I just liked it better than the last track. The lyrics are a lot less corny. The chill beat's really nice to hear. It was just a good listen for me. I didn't write very much down, mainly because it's exactly the same as the other however many songs are on this album.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened here. The only reason it got a lower score is because it sounds like the first half of the album, not this half of the album. And it was just really weird to suddenly go back to the first 3 tracks now at track 12. Something that's almost indistinguishable from probably track 5 and 6 is randomly track 12. I just thought that was really weird. It is sweet and sad, though, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah. I think I did exactly what Carson did. I just went straight off of vibes. This one's catchy, and it sounds like it would work well as the like season finale scene to Grey's Anatomy. Do with that information what you will.
I actually thought that exact thing as I was listening to it. Was like, this is the ending of a soap opera.
Yep.
Like, 100%.
Yeah. While I don't actually love the song, I do think it's probably objectively what they were going for the most off of this album. This felt like their most comfortable spot to be in. The only problem is exactly what Carl said, is this shouldn't be in this half of the album. I'm also under the firm belief that if you run this album completely the opposite way, it paces significantly better.
I don't think this album matters on shuffle at all.
I say that's the other thing, is like, it's just the way they
Unless you
ordered it is wrong. Any other way is probably right, but this way is certainly wrong.
You know, I was about to say something about shuffle in the interlude, but no, that can really go anywhere too.
That can be track 1. That can be track 12.
Yeah,
I
it
think
really
it would work.
can.
I think it
Or
would work
13.
best as track 1, actually.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's that or the last track.
I think that would make me mad, but
I think if you had it as the last track with a setup for it to be a never-ending album.
okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Or like a hidden track.
Something, yeah, like that.
All right.
When did we last have a hidden track? It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I'm over here being stained.
Sorry, I had to.
We did an album it was like a month and a half ago at this point. Where you listened on YouTube, and one of the tracks we had on Apple Music was listed on the album, but it was a bonus track by the record label.
Oh, weird. I think the last one that truly had a hidden track was like back when we actually did metal. It was that this was so long ago, I don't even know what it looked like. It had the weird like Robo Girl, the cartoon thing.
Oh, Posthuman
Next Gen. I think that was the last actual hidden track we had. That was like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. That was the last episode in the old studio.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we're going back.
I wasn't even there for that
No, you
episode.
missed that one.
I had to call in for
So
that
you
one.
popped in for a second.
At a show.
All right, well, that brings us to our last track, Space. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Ain't no way, bruh. If that was... Look, you changed your answer twice.
To a 6.5.
You're not going to believe this, but I also gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Ain't no way, the hive mind.
I gave it 7.5, and I ain't changing.
Logan gotta ruin it.
Yep.
It's because there's good guitar tone on this track.
Anyway,
Yep.
this is all I got for this track. It all blended together at this point. I just said this one's pretty nice. That's my only note.
Yeah, my notes go, the guitar tone is good, but the snare tone is not, so they cancel out. But I do like the dynamics that happen as the track goes on. I felt like they finally breathed a little bit here. There's kind of some emotional growth and some movement here, and some dynamics, which I guess is unusual on a pop album, but I appreciated it.
Yeah, this is a nice song, and we were talking about you can run this on shuffle, but I do think this is the ending. This is a planned ending that they made for this album, and it works pretty well as that, I think.
Just wanted you to know how you said nice song made me think of how my grandma insults people. She'll be like, oh, she's a nice girl. And I'm like, Grandma.
I didn't mean it like that.
He totally did. Don't let him lie to you.
Yeah. The actual vocal cadence of the song is very good. It's very nice. There's a lot of effects. It kind of killed me. I really just am sick of hearing way too many obvious effects. That's the problem. Every song has way too many effects on it. They're just less obvious. They're in your face here in Joan. So
I gave it like the smallest pass ever because the song is titled Space. So
It-
I was like,
yeah.
there's too much reverb, but I get why they might think that it needs that.
Speaking of grandmas,
I don't
sorry,
got none of those.
sorry, I read this fact as I was looking through the band. The band is named Joan because when they met, they were talking and figured out that both of their grandmothers' names were Joan, so they named the band that.
Well, that's kind of sweet.
Figured that was kind of a neat fact. Yeah, but the whole album's way over affected. That's one of those things. Somebody builds a home studio, they put toys on it, they want to play with them.
yeah, been there, done that.
All right. Well, I believe that brings us right into pacing. I gave the pacing a 6 out of 10.
I gave this one a 7.5.
I gave it a 6.
Give it a 5.
I have my issues with it. You know, front half of the album was kind of terrible.
But so my thing is, if you can shuffle everything and it not matter because every track sounds the same, isn't that good pacing? If every track sounds the same and I can't tell the difference, doesn't that mean it's good?
I think we've determined that it's actually a negative
Yeah.
because tracks should be distinguishable by a lead-in and follow-up, not every track sounding the same.
Oh, then it's like a 5. Yeah, 100%.
So it's all
Yeah,
about
there's-
the flow in between.
That's what I was about to bring up. There's
Yeah.
like no ebb and flow to this album. Everything just kind of stays at one point the whole time. Things just got too repetitive, and the effects just bring on so much fatigue, especially by the very end. You just don't care about the thing anymore.
And even when they try to speed the track up, the vocals always have almost identical speed and cadence.
Mm-hmm.
So even when they play a fast track, it feels slow. So that was the other thing I wrote. I tend to base pacing a lot on how long it feels like I've been listening to the album, and this one was one that felt way longer than 45 minutes.
See, I went on that logic this week, and the first half felt like way longer than the second half. That's where the score is higher, is because the second half I didn't think felt like I was dragging through. It was weird and a little bit of a roller coaster, but it went by at the normal speed instead of the grinding to a stop that the beginning kind of did.
Yeah. Be honest, I think as an album, this is pretty hard to listen to. It's like the world's longest first half, and then a hype second half. I enjoyed thoroughly like last 4 or so off of this. Maybe not the last 4. Oh no, it's the last 4, right? It's the last 5 that I got a problem with. But the last 4 are good tracks. I just think they need to go literally everywhere else in the album. And I mean, Space, yeah, it works as an ending, but I also think it works as like a mid breakup. Also, the fact that all these songs sound the same but are not quite the same genre should work for it, but it really works against it because it feels, instead of purposeful, like they just kind of wanted to play and do things and make songs, which is cool and alright. I don't know that I release an album. I release a compilation, or I release a bunch of singles. It's just that regard is kind of hard to work with.
That's the other thing that was really weird. Their last album was in 2023, and people don't usually crank albums out every couple of years now. I mean, maybe they do in the pop realm.
I was say in pop, it's usually like 2 back-to-back, a break, and then like 1 a year for a second, and then a break. Pop's weird because you have to stay relevant, but you also can't be too relevant, or else you get kind of like Sabrina Carpenter syndrome, where you're at the top and then everyone kind of just hates you, and then they kind of make up some weird reason to hate you.
People hate Sabrina Carpenter now?
Yeah, there was controversy about her album cover because a man was holding her hair, and they were like, you can't be controlled by a man. But I think the whole point of it was that she's walking the man and she has control. I don't know. She talked about it. But it felt like they were grasping at straws, and then she was like, why? And then she lost some money. Not a bunch, but some.
So she can shake everything on stage basically naked and no one cares, and then the second someone holds her hair, they have a problem with men being the... Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that's a bad opinion for the album.
100% all because she had money, and that's the thing. And success.
So neat. We talked about pacing. I want to bring this up because I skimmed like 10 interviews with the band trying to figure out if there were any real personnel playing on this album. This is about like a roller coaster of emotions through life and learning to deal with things and that kind of thing. So Connor literally said roller coaster. So I wanted to hit a little chime when you did it because I was like, no, that's intentional. They 100% intended for it to feel like a roller coaster. I guess if I had to guess based on the interview, I would say the first half of the album is like the bass line, and then you're supposed to get the ups and downs. Our drum and bass song is probably like a manic episode kind of thing. You know, we get the sad stuff after that coming back from it. I think it's actually intentional.
I wish we got that lyrically then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I understand exactly what you're saying, and I agree musically that is spot on. I think lyrically, that could not be further away from the truth. But that is because these are very I don't want to say lyrically basic, but lyrically, like, surface level, it feels like.
Yeah, they're
I'm sure there may be deeper meanings that, because I'm not super into the band or super tight with these guys personally, that I don't understand. But it feels like a lot of the lyrics are just kind of surface level pop song.
Yeah, pop is supposed to be... maybe not emotionally devoid, but very emotionally distant. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole deal is that it's supposed to appeal to everyone, right? So you can't be too personal, I guess.
It's weird because this seems like a very personal band. So we've got, a band named after their grandmothers. That's part 1. And then this album, which is an emotional journey. It feels like they really want to be emotional pop stars. They want to be emo pop stars, and I respect it.
All right. Well, I believe that brings us straight into album art. I actually gave the album art an 8.5 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8.
Give it a 5.
It's some real artsy shit, man. I like it a lot.
Listen, this album art looks exactly like the first half of this album.
It truly,
They nailed it.
I literally wrote, "It looks like it sounds."
it fits the theme like to a T, and I really like it, and I especially like the whiteout figure. Especially like going into this album, I thought it was gonna be about like almost like a relationship, but it turns out it's about their relationship with life in general. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
I'm ready for Logan's rant. It's gonna have me change my mind. He's cooking.
It's just the pop art thing. Typically for pop, you don't put the name on there. That's just how it goes. You have the picture only, and
Yeah, but
that's what I wanted.
But I would have given it a 6 if it had the picture only.
See, I would have given it an 8. I think that the red is also a very detractor for me. It feels like it stands out a lot, and it's like if it was blue or something that fit more with the grays and whites. I don't need to know the title of the album. It's the first track. They also bring it up again in the interlude, so I would have figured it out that was the title. I'm also looking at the title, and it'll be on the spine of the vinyl or the CD. It's just, it doesn't make sense to be there in my brain.
So when I look at vinyl, it's not vinyls. There is no S. When I look at vinyl, if I don't see a title, I'm always like, oh, this is some sort of hippie crap, and I put it back typically.
In all fairness, is this not some hippie crap?
I mean, I guess that's fair. I don't always do that, but I also don't buy vinyl that normal people buy, so that's fair.
Because you're not normal people.
I'm not normal people. Yeah, I have lots of jazz, some train sounds, car sounds.
I feel like if Carl could listen to Trains for 12 hours, he would.
I mean, if he could, he
Say,
can. He
what's
has
stopping
YouTube.
him?
I 100% do that when I need to sleep. I've done that since I was a kid.
Listens to Train.
Yeah, I put on Trains in the headphones. That puts me to sleep. Need Carl Facts tonight.
I listened to lots and lots of jets and planes on 6 hours.
Yeah, no, like for real. That's
I
why
like to listen to the 12-hour silence, but with metal clanging in the background every, like, at random intervals.
So when I was picking where to live when I moved here, I legitimately, like, when I was looking for a house, I picked one within earshot of the nearest railroad line, but with a bridge where I could drive over it.
This dude loves trains.
No, it puts me to
it's-
sleep. I sleep
respect
so
that 'cause,
well.
Like the rumble of an airplane, because of how long I've been in a direct flight path, puts me right out.
It's real weird, but it's
Kind
fun.
of like my little brother. He can't listen to, like, really heavy music or else it puts him straight to bed. Because my dad used to put him to bed to, like, at metal music.
Did you know they torture people at Guantanamo Bay by making them listen to Metallica? More you know.
Carl knows. He's been there.
He's been locked up for several years.
It's actually where the hatred of Metallica is from.
Yeah, he broke containment just a little bit ago to get on the album book club and to talk about Metallica.
That's why I'm here.
All
You
these
don't know.
clips will make no sense in the video about this album.
Oh no one's gonna have any idea what's going on. We don't even know what's going on anymore. Where are we at?
We're at
I
overall,
was say we're on the last thing.
and I gave overall a 7 out of 10.
I give this one a 6.5.
I gave it a 6.75.
Nah, I give it a 6.75.
It honestly deserves a 6.75. I'll drop
Yeah,
mine
we can
down.
we can just give it a 6.75 all the way around.
As a collective.
I just feel like it's a little emotionally devoid. Not to say the thing I said it wasn't earlier. I just wish it was more creative, and I wish it was less robot made with whatever AI plugins they used.
It really feels like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. Like someone who really wants a heart but doesn't have it, But that's pop music.
It is, and
You
then-
literally cannot put emotions into electronics. It's not possible.
No, I'm literally complaining about all the things I don't like about pop. They don't apply to this album directly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was wild. It loaded up a different video when I went back onto the live, but still was playing the live. So I'm looking at comments, like 7,000 comments on this video. What happened?
They really
I'm kind of in the I'm in the same kind of realm of you guys. It's majorly the fact that this just feels super pop, like not a whole lot of real instruments going on. I wish there was more variation in the sound. I feel like their reliance on effects is shooting them in both of their kneecaps. Like it really sometimes when they just over affect things and put way too much stuff on, it just makes it sound so much worse than it actually is.
I mean, what happened is you gave a bunch of musicians a pop album to listen to. That's really what happened. That's how it ended up with the score it's got.
Well, the thing that really sucks is you can tell these guys are pretty solid musicians. They know what they're doing for the most part. Maybe not on like the producing side. There's some things there that I can gripe with, but they know for the most part. I think they have the same problem that I have. I know Carl has said he's had it before. I don't know how true it is anymore, but I don't write in the style that I listen to.
Oh,
And
very
it
true.
avidly makes me very, very angry because I listen to like full 80s like metal. That's like what I would say is my home genre. It's like that big hair. I write country songs. I write pop songs. And when Carl and I play, we write reggae songs.
Which
Yo,
is
that's
also
kind of awesome though.
it's really strange actually. Yeah. Like when I'm singing and playing acoustic guitar, I can write like an Americana folk album in like 30 minutes. That is not what I listen to at all, unless I'm like crying and eating a pint of ice cream. But it happens.
So it's just, I think they ended up accidentally writing a like pseudo pop album. And we're like, well, that's what it's closest to. Let's ride with it. Because it's just kind of like, you want to write what you listen to, but you also have to go in the direction that you're writing. And I think you can definitely feel that tension on here because you can see where they're trying to go for other things that are a little more rocky or a little more alternative-y, but being stuck under that like kind of pop label and just the way that they wrote their lyrics. I think lyrics are really what give that tell to me because their lyrics are all very, like we said, kind of surface level, very basic. It seems almost as if they wrote the songs and then needed to come up with lyrics.
I mean, going back to it, we'll talk about what I play most. Well, what I enjoy playing most, which is jazz.
Jazz.
I tend to, yeah. But see, the whole thing is I tend to reward risk and reward creativity, and that's what I like in music. I like something that makes me think, and something that's different, and that's literally the antithesis of pop music. So I don't think there was any winning today based on me. Overall, I enjoyed the different takes they had on different tracks. I will say that.
Calling this alternative pop, I really wish they leaned more into the alternative side of things. Like, it feels like the alternative side of things for this album is just slapping on a boatload of effects. And if they actually, like, change the way they wrote some of the tracks or how they tried to convey some of the emotion through the tracks, made it a little bit more personable, made it less about the corporate pop shill,
I think the pop tag is the problem, not the alternative tag.
That's what I mean. Like, I think they should lean more into alternative than they should pop.
Well, I think it's they need to go one way or the other, right? And they're down the line. Because I think musically in their writing, they're full alternative. I really think it is just the lyrics, and then obviously neither of them are drummers.
Well,
so the drums get filled in to be whatever they need to be, and drums control a lot of the tone of the song.
It's also the production. It is very much the vocal delivery, but the production is so over-affected and so over-polished that I think anything cool they were trying to do just immediately got washed away by how, I don't know, just how gluey and sappy and just everything. The way the vocals are produced, I don't know that he could have sang faster. And when he tried to do different vocal cadences, it just turned out weird because of how much overdubbing they were doing and how many effects are on and the auto-tune not latching correctly and all those different things. It just very much puts them into this little box I feel like they're actively trying to get out of. It's really interesting since you put it that way.
It is definitely like, I do think now that you've said that, it's unfortunate for them because I do think they are going to be that band that is known for this sound. Because they've got a pretty decent following, I think 140 plus.
I thought it was just 45.
Oh, maybe
I can
added
check.
a number on there.
Not that that's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
They've got some sort of number, and they've got a lot of fans that I think like this sound. But I could have very much imagined them ending up kind of like an Origami Angel. There's another band who's like someone we all really like, but they're not super huge because their sound is so specific.
and it's really hard to look at someone that's not making money and say, hey, take the risk, do this, do that. When you're in a position, Rush is always the one I bring up because there's a very famous quote by Neil Peart that basically says, we're going to make the music we want to make. If the fans actually like us, they'll follow. If you didn't just go on a global tour and make a crap ton of money, that is a crazy thing to say. And I 100% understand why you don't do that. But I really wish more bands would. I really wish more bands would say, hey, this album's completely different than the last one. You should like it.
I think pop to me has always been a solo act kind of thing. Pop is always, oh man, this is going to sound terrible. Pop has always been best behind a pretty face that can kind of sing. And that's the truth. Pop is all about selling merchandise and selling music and selling tickets.
And what the label wants. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to go into one of my other favorite rants is that record labels control what they want the music to be. And if you're a pop band, it's really hard to get out of that box without cutting your contract or doing something else to do that. And again, this is in general. I don't know any of the ins and outs of this band. I can't even find out who's playing on the freaking album, but it kind of feels like they're stuck in that pop thing and are trying to get out. It's just such an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Got anything else, boys?
Yeah, end of hate for pop rant. Also, I will say, I think this album was screwed from the get-go. It's November. It's not time for pop. It's time for like
Christmas music,
emo music, and like electronic music. That's the vibe right now. We're in that area.
And
So that's why the second half of this album did good.
man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
pretty
listen to Daft Punk on the
pretty
way
much.
home,
It's time
just
for
like I
soup.
always do.
It is
Heated
time for
blankets.
soup. It is soup weather.
Heated blankets.
Oh, dude. Made some banging potato soup last week. Helped out with the flu so much.
Could use a bisque right now, like a lobster bisque.
I thought about getting lasagna the other day, but
Cold
it was
soup.
so mid last time. Felt really
Why would you want cold soup at cold weather time?
It's a reference.
I like the thickness of soup over the like heat of soup. I have a very sensitive tongue and it's currently burnt. I had a hot pocket that was too hot.
those aren't fit for human consumption.
Hot pockets?
Yeah. The
They
FDA
totally
has said
are.
that
Don't
multiple
listen to
times.
Yes. Good. It's fine. It's just like the Kroger steroid meat.
Yeah, where I lived before was right next to the Hot Pocket factory, and we used to get told that all the time. New fact.
All right. You ready for next week's album?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next week, we will be listening to Raise, Wreck, Rebuild, Raise by Teeth Marks. This was an album that we saw performed live
I got the
a
shirt on.
a lot of months ago.
It's back at our Minnows vlog.
Mm-hmm.
It's that
Let's
show.
go.
And they will be here. At least some of them will be here. I don't know how many, but
Let's go.
hopefully all of them will be here to review it with us.
That'd be sick.
Don't
Don't miss it.
Yeah, don't forget we have merch. I think I'm wearing mine. I don't know if anyone else has got any on. We still have mugs.
Nah.
Yeah, I got mine's in the wash. Yeah, you can go ahead and head over to our Album Book Club Fourth Wall store and pick up our Album Mug Club mugs, our varsity wear, our hats, our newly added speed jackets, as well as all prior season's merch.
And let me do my YouTube thing for a second. I know everybody hates it, but guys, we're so close to 1,000. Like, for real. We are so close. That's going to be a big point, hopefully, with getting us out to more people. So if you're watching this, if you've made it this far, please just hit that little button. We really appreciate it.
We should start doing it at the start of these reviews.
Probably. I will say we're at like 5 weeks left till the end of our year.
Yep.
We could hit 1,000 before then. Be
Would be
lovely.
great. It's we're down to I think 21 left.
21 left.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. All I want for Christmas is for you to hit that little subscribe button.
7 of you tell 3 people. No, I mean, it's real funny because last Christmas we were begging for, 500?
Yeah.
We've doubled that, so.
This is exponential. We're gonna start seeing it.
Well, the first Christmas we were begging for 100.
Yeah,
so.
it's just been a skyrocket.
Mhm.
Although we cannot be begging for 500 subs only every year,
Yeah, next year we gotta be begging for 10,000.
And next year we better be at 10 million subs.
We're just gonna start begging for zeros.
For real. All right.
See you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.